Step 1: Mindset Reality Check. A mindset reality check is the moment you stop lying to yourself and start seeing your life exactly as it is, not how you wish it was. Most people operate on comfort-based thinking. They blame circumstances, wait for motivation, or convince themselves that tomorrow will be different. But the truth is harsh. Your current results are a reflection of your current mindset, habits, and decisions. If you're stuck, it's not always because life is unfair. Sometimes it's because you're avoiding discomfort. Growth demands friction. You cannot expect a better life while repeating the same behaviors that created your current one. This is where the reality check hits. Discipline beats motivation, consistency beats talent, and execution beats planning. A strong mindset doesn't mean being positive all the time. It means being honest. It means admitting when you're procrastinating, when you're making excuses, and when you're settling for less than what you're capable of. Most people delay action because they fear failure, but what they don't realize is that inaction is already a form of failure. The justification behind this is simple: results don't lie. If you want financial growth, but you're not building skills or taking risks, your mindset is misaligned. If you want freedom, but you're choosing comfort every day, your actions contradict your goals. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not luck, it's mindset plus behavior. A mindset reality check forces accountability. It shifts you from victim thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" to ownership thinking, "What can I do about this?" And that shift is powerful because once you take ownership, you regain control. At the end of the day, no strategy, opportunity, or shortcut will save you if your mindset is weak. But once your mindset becomes disciplined, focused, and honest, you don't need perfect conditions. You create progress anyway. Reality doesn't change for you. You change for your reality. Step to discipline and work ethic. Discipline and work ethic are the foundations of long-term success, far more reliable than motivation, talent, or even luck. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes depending on your mood, environment, or energy. But discipline is a system. It's the ability to act even when you don't feel like it. And work ethic is how seriously you take that responsibility, how consistent, focused, and committed you are to doing the work. Discipline is about control over your time, your habits, and your impulses. It's choosing long-term rewards over short-term comfort. For example, waking up early when you'd rather sleep, working on your goals when others are relaxing, or continuing even when results are slow. These are not exciting moments, but they are the moments that build progress. Work ethic, on the other hand, is your standard. It's how much effort you're willing to give without being forced. People with a strong work ethic don't need supervision or constant motivation. They show up because they've decided that their goals matter. They don't cut corners, they don't quit easily, and they don't rely on excuses. The reality is, most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack consistency. They start strong, then disappear when things get hard or boring. That's where discipline separates you. Discipline keeps you moving when progress feels invisible. It builds momentum quietly, day by day, until results finally show. The justification behind discipline and work ethic is simple. Results are earned through repetition. Every skill, every successful project, every improvement comes from doing the work repeatedly, especially when it's inconvenient. There is no shortcut to mastery. Even the most talented individuals still rely on discipline to refine and maintain their abilities. Another important truth is that discipline reduces stress. When you have structure and routine, you eliminate decision fatigue. You don't waste time thinking, "Should I do this or not?" You just do it. That clarity makes you more productive and more focused. In the long run, discipline creates freedom. It may feel restrictive at first, but it actually gives you control over your life. The more disciplined you are with your time and effort, the more opportunities you create for yourself financially, mentally, and emotionally. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when it's hard. Work ethic is doing it well, consistently, and without excuses. Step 3: Time and productivity awareness. Time and productivity awareness is the ability to clearly understand how you spend your time and whether those actions are actually moving your life forward. Most people think they're busy, but being busy is not the same as being productive. You can spend an entire day doing things and still make zero real progress. Time is your most limited resource. You can earn more money, gain more knowledge, or build new opportunities, but you can never get back lost time. Every hour you waste is permanently gone. That's the reality most people ignore. They treat time casually, assuming they can catch up later without realizing that delayed action often leads to missed opportunities. Productivity awareness starts with honesty. You need to ask yourself, where is my time actually going? Social media, distractions, overthinking, procrastination, these small habits quietly consume hours every day, and over weeks or months they compound into lost potential. It's not always big mistakes that hold people back, it's repeated small inefficiencies. Being productive doesn't mean doing more, it means doing what matters most. High-value tasks are the ones that create real results, building skills, working on income-generating projects, improving your systems, or taking action on important goals. Low-value tasks feel easy and comfortable, but they don't change your situation. The justification behind time and productivity awareness is simple. Your results are directly tied to how you allocate your time. If most of your time goes to distractions, your progress will be slow or non-existent. But if your time is focused on meaningful work, progress becomes inevitable. Time, when used correctly, compounds just like money. Another key aspect is intentional planning. Without a plan, your day will be controlled by distractions, emotions, or other people's priorities. When you are aware of your time, you start setting structure, deciding in advance what needs to be done and when. This reduces wasted energy and increases efficiency. Productivity awareness also helps you identify what not to do. Not everything deserves your attention. Learning to eliminate or minimize low-impact activities is just as important as working hard. Focus creates speed. The more concentrated your effort, the faster you see results. In the long run, mastering your time leads to control over your life. You stop reacting and start directing. You stop drifting and start progressing. And that shift changes everything, because success is not built in one big moment, but in how you use your hours every single day. You don't lack time, you lack awareness of how you use it. Fix that, and everything starts to move. Step for goal versus effort gap. The goal versus effort gap is the distance between what you say you want and what you're actually doing every day to achieve it. Almost everyone has big goals: financial freedom, success, stability, growth, but very few people match those goals with equal levels of effort. And that mismatch is where most people get stuck. It's easy to declare goals because goals are exciting. They make you feel like you're moving forward. But effort is different. It's repetitive, uncomfortable, and often boring. That's why many people stay in the goal-setting phase but struggle in the execution phase. They want results, but they're not consistently doing the work required to earn them. The reality is simple. Your goals don't determine your future, your daily actions do. You can have the clearest vision in the world, but if your effort doesn't align with it, nothing changes. For example, saying you want financial growth, but not building skills, not taking risks, or not creating income opportunities creates a gap. Saying you want discipline, but continuing to procrastinate widens that gap even more. This gap often comes from overestimating what we intend to do and underestimating what we actually do. People believe that thinking, planning, or waiting for the right time counts as progress, but it doesn't. Progress only comes from execution, and execution requires consistent effort, even when motivation is low. The justification behind the goal versus effort gap is rooted in reality. Results are a direct output of effort over time. If effort is inconsistent, results will also be inconsistent. If effort is weak, results will be small. There is no way to bypass this. The gap exists because people expect outcomes that their current habits cannot support. Another key factor is comfort. Effort requires discomfort, waking up early, learning difficult skills, facing rejection, staying focused when it's easier to relax. Most people avoid this discomfort but still expect high-level results. That contradiction is the gap. Closing the gap requires honesty and accountability. You need to measure your actions, not your intentions. Ask yourself, if someone looked at my daily routine, would they believe in my goals? If the answer is no, then your effort needs to increase or your goals need to be adjusted. It also requires systems, not just motivation. You don't rely on how you feel, you rely on habits, schedules, and standards. When effort becomes automatic, the gap starts to close. And once your actions consistently match your goals, progress becomes predictable. In the end, the truth is clear. You are not far from your goals, you are far from the level of effort your goals require. Step 5. Future Regret Perspective. The future regret perspective is the ability to look at your life from the lens of your future self and ask a hard question. If I continue living like this, what will I regret later? It forces you to think beyond comfort, beyond today's excuses, and confront the long-term consequences of your current decisions. Most people make choices based on what feels easy now, not what will matter later. They delay action, avoid risks, and settle into routines that feel safe. But time doesn't pause. Years pass whether you act or not. And one day, you wake up realizing that the opportunities you once had are gone, not because you weren't capable, but because you didn't act when you had the chance. Regret doesn't usually come from failure, it comes from inaction. Trying and failing can teach you something, improve you, and even redirect you to better opportunities. But not trying at all leaves questions that never get answered. What if I started earlier? What if I took that risk? What if I stayed consistent? These unanswered questions become heavy over time. This perspective is powerful because it removes illusions. It strips away the comfort of "I'll do it later" and replaces it with urgency. When you think like your future self, you realize that the small actions you avoid today are the same actions you'll wish you had done years from now. Learning a skill, saving money, building something, taking care of your health, or pursuing a meaningful path. Behind this mindset is simple: time compounds everything. Just like consistent effort builds success, consistent neglect builds regret. Every day you delay, the gap between where you are and where you want to be becomes harder to close. Opportunities shrink, energy changes, responsibilities increase, and what once felt possible becomes more difficult. Another key truth is that future regret is predictable. You already know, deep down, the areas of your life you're neglecting. You don't need to guess what you'll regret, you can see it in your current patterns. If you're avoiding growth, avoiding responsibility, or staying in your comfort zone, your future self will feel the cost of those decisions. The purpose of this perspective is not to scare you, but to wake you up. It shifts your mindset from short-term comfort to long-term responsibility. Instead of asking, "Do I feel like doing this today?" you start asking, "Will I regret not doing this?" And that question changes your behavior. When you act with future awareness, your priorities become clearer. You become more disciplined, more intentional, and more willing to endure temporary discomfort because you understand what's at stake. Your future is not something that happens to you, it's something you're building right now. And the biggest pain you can carry later is knowing you could have done more but chose not to.